right, Mike. Good to see you, dude.
You too.
So this is your Cessna 150, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about this. Like, what year is this, and how long have you had it yourself?
This is a 1969 150K.
Okay.
I got it from my dad. This was my dad's plane. He's had it for years. I've had it for about 1 year, and I've flown it about 400 hours now in the first year of owning it. So
Wow. So you fly it a lot.
doing pretty good on the hours. If I was working on my way to ATP, I'm like getting there quick.
So I mean, it's a you said 69, so late 60s, 150. I think sometimes people they think of these planes as not super practical. You know, they're only used for training and that kind of stuff. But you've taken this on some long flights, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you do a lot of, I would say, practical flying, right?
Yeah, I think they're practical as long as you're not in a hurry. It'll go all the way across the country like any other plane. You know, you got to stop for gas. It does about 4 hours at a time. It'll fly 4.5 hours on a tank, but I never plan more than 3.5 hours per leg. You know, so you have extra fuel in case you have to divert, land somewhere else, or maybe the place you land doesn't have fuel that day. If you did some really bad flight planning and end up at an airport with no fuel, it's nice to know that you have another hour worth of fuel in there.
So what are some of like the longer trips that you've done in this plane?
In this particular plane, I've only flown it back and forth to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
But my dad bought another one of these last year, and we flew it from Michigan, Traverse City, Michigan, which is the eastern part of Michigan, all the way back to Mesa, Arizona. And that trip took us 4 days.
Okay.
So we did 2 legs per day, a tank of gas, refill, second tank of gas, and then we would land and then spend the night. So it took us about 4 days to get back, and that was really fun. Same exact plane, pretty much. His new one's a 152, so cosmetic differences mostly. It's got a different engine, but the power rating's about the same. The flight characteristics are about the same, so basically apples to apples when you compare it flying across the country. And you know, it made it all the way over here no problem.
So we were talking about the efficiency of it earlier, right? So something I think people don't always think about, or it's sort of kind of a not really intuitive thing, but if somebody's trying to build hours, a slower airplane is better, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're traveling the same distance, but it's taking you longer to get there, and so you build up your hours, not really faster in terms of time, but faster in terms of flights or distance and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So what, as far as like fuel burn, you know, like what kind of fuel burn are you getting on this, like realistically?
Yeah, so this burns 5.5 gallons per hour at full speed. If you slow it down, it'll burn about 4 gallons per hour, but the resulting gas mileage is going to be the same, because if you're burning 4 gallons per hour, you're going to go slower and take longer to get there, and ultimately burn the same amount of fuel to get, you know, an X number of miles. But like you were saying, this is a slow flying plane, so you can build hours quickly, which is what the FAA cares about. They don't care how long you've been flying, how many how much distance you fly. They care how many hours you've been flying. So, you know, if you're trying to build hours in a jet and you have to fly all the way across the country to get 7 hours of flight, and I can fly this thing, you know, back and forth to Arizona and get 7 hours of flight, and it's a lot more cost effective. In a small plane like this, you can get your 1,500 hours for less money.
Yeah. And I mean, we're in Southern California, obviously, but I mean, you've flown this to like just about every airport in Southern California.
I've been to every airport, and I haven't been to Hawthorne Airport yet. It's not in a good spot where I would ever want to land.
So you haven't been to Hawthorne, but you've been to just about every other airport, right?
Exactly, yeah. It's just fun to bounce around the airports, find places to eat. I fly to Camarillo almost once a week just to get breakfast over there. It's a beautiful airport. It's always cool outside.
Nice restaurant, too.
And the restaurant is amazing. I've also flown to Temecula a bunch of times, San Diego. It's just fun to just find places to just to go on little adventures to grab food. It's fun.
Right on. Well, I'm up for a little adventure today, so why don't we hop on the plane and go fly around?
I would love to.
All right.
Let's do it.
that? It looks like an old, almost like an old ghost town.
Like a mining operation over here.
Yeah, that looks really cool. That'd be fun to, wonder if we can explore that sometime. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Mike, this is the only way to travel.
Yeah, boy.
Mojave Tower, Cessna, November 311 Sierra Golf, about 6 miles to the south, inbound for landing.
Other aircraft calling inbound, say again your position.
Yeah, this is Cessna, November 311 Sierra Golf, about 4.5 miles to the south, inbound for full stop.
Cessna 311 Sierra Golf, roger, in and right downwind for runway 12, wind 170 at 11.
Right downwind 12.
Okay, right downwind for runway 12, Golf.
Perfect.
And pattern altitude is 3,800, I believe.
That took us like 5 minutes to get here. I thought it was getting further. We'll be in the pattern longer.
Yeah, really. Yeah, pretty much all we had to do was climb up to the pattern altitude, and then we did the radio call.
We had to get up high enough for them to hear us. I flew over this place at 13,500 last weekend. Coming back from that lake bed landing. There's some really hard winds over there pushing me way up, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take it all the way home at this altitude.
And let's see, about 3 seconds on the flaps, you said?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
That's your 10.
Alright.
And 3 more for 20.
And Mojave Tower, is this 1 Sierra Golf, or just verifying we're cleared to land on 12?
Number 1 Sierra Golf, you are now clear to land, runway 12, wind 190 at 14.
Cleared to land, 12. Thank you very much. 1 Sierra Golf.
Thanks for the call.
I'll slow you down a little bit. I usually try to land on one wheel, but that's tough to learn if you have never done it. All right.